So he should cling to the Republicans all the way till they make their choice. That way he can get all the free airtime. Even though mainstream media ignores him, still if people watch the debates and hear what Congressman Paul has to say, to me the Republican debates are virtually unwatchable. I watch them for about 10 minutes and I'm so disgusted. But the other day I forced myself to watch because I wanted to hear whenever Congressman Paul spoke. And whenever he did, he clearly is the only one that makes any sense whatsoever out of the whole bunch of candidates up there. Clearly, by far and away, in my opinion. He is the heads above everyone else. Now, he's playing it brilliantly. Ride that Republican wagon all the way till they boot him off it, which you know they will. And then as soon as they boot him off it, which they choose their candidate, whatever, then he immediately should jump to the Libertarian Party. He'll have ballot access in virtually every state. He'll have the momentum of the Republican all the time on TV with them. And he should get numbers big enough to where they'll have to include him in the debates. If they don't include him in the debates, we should start rioting in the streets.
Wow, what a statement from Jesse Ventura. I guess it is getting down to the point where this government's acting about like the Redcoats. If you read the Declaration of Independence, everything in there is exactly what this out-of-control government, hijacked by the Federal Reserve, is doing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you notice that when Ron Paul brings up auditing the Federal Reserve, all those other candidates head for the hills. They don't speak a word about that. Not one word from any other candidate up there, including the current front-runner, the Godfather at Godfather's Pizza, Kane.
Yeah, by the way,
he doesn't even touch it either.
By the way, his solution is new taxes on top of the income taxes. Can you imagine, Governor, the feds involved in sales taxes and VAT, the hell of that?
Well, you know, if it legitimately could be 9, 9, and 9, I don't see nothing wrong with that, really. That's less than I'm paying now.
Yeah, but you know they're going to jack it up.
But, oh, of course. And I would like, you know, I'm an advocate of the national sales tax, to abolish the income tax, which, of course, was never constitutionally passed in the first place.
Sure, but only if you can completely get rid of the income tax and have an amendment against it.
Yep. Get rid of the income tax and go to a national sales tax. I've been an advocate of that for 20 years now. You know, because my belief is clear. My belief is wealth is not what you earn. Wealth is determined by what you spend.
I agree with that. It shouldn't penalize savings and investment. Now, expanding on that, but to be specific, putting you here on the hot seat.
All right.
If Ron Paul approached you about being his VP, because I happen to know there's been some scuttlebutt concerning that. If Ron Paul approached you, running as a Libertarian, and said, Jesse, Governor, I'd like you to run as my VP, what would you say?
Well, first of all, I would say this. That would be the best insurance policy Congressman Paul could ever have. Because nobody's going to assassinate him and let me be in charge.
No.
So he definitely, if you want to look at it, would be the lesser of the two evils from their perspective. So I would give it serious consideration. I would not say right now whether yes or no, because naturally I would have to discuss it with my family before I would do any venture like that. But if it were to come to pass next spring or next summer when I get back from Mexico, if the iron's hot, I don't know. I guess I'll go to Mexico and think about it this winter, and by the time I get back, it ought to be time, if a decision has to be made, that'll be the time to make it.
Governor, what about this angle? If Ron Paul doesn't run, if he doesn't get the nomination, we should all push for that, obviously, using that machinery against it, power structure against itself, and he doesn't, for whatever reason, his wife's health, whatever, run as a Libertarian. What about Jesse Ventura seeking that nomination? Even if he didn't win, and I know you don't do stuff to not win, but you would still win by being on the field, injecting real issues, and being in the national debate. I mean, my God, that
would require the Libertarians to come and ask me, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So, and the Libertarians have never done that to me before, so I guess the ball would be in the Libertarians' corner, wouldn't it?
But if you got invited to that party, you would look at the invitation.
Well, I am a Libertarian. I've taken their exam. I pass it with flying colors. You know, I am a libertarian. I just like to say small L.
Sure.
You know, I believe there is a place for government. I believe that government has a place in an organized society, that you must have it, where you have some libertarians that don't even buy into that.
Yeah, they're anarcho-capitalist.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and so, you know, I consider myself a libertarian, small L. I'm fiscally conservative. I'm socially liberal. I don't believe that government should be in your private life whatsoever. They have no business there.
Well, regardless, you want to audit and abolish the Federal Reserve. What would you do as president? What's your view of Libya? He's won a peace prize. It would last days, not weeks. Went on 6 months. 40 to 50.
You know what I find? I'll tell you what I find bad about the Libyan situation. Our media and our government had no problem showing us Gaddafi's dead body multiple times, correct?
Yes.
And yet they outlawed showing our caskets coming home from the war, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
That is the biggest piece of propaganda crap I've ever seen in my life.
You're right. Listen, I got
sense. They will sit and show Gaddafi dead 50 times over, the quote-unquote Islamic enemy, but they won't show our boys coming home from these phony wars that shouldn't be fought.
By the way, I on YouTube the other day showed Walter Cronkite showing the little girl with the napalm with her skin burn off.
Yep.
And then I showed a modern girl with her jaw blown off in CERT, and they blocked the video and called it obscene. No, the not letting the people see what these wars are doing in our name, that's obscene.
Exactly. It's obscene to stick your head in the sand. It's obscene as a citizen and a taxpayer of this country that your money pays for these wars, and yet you don't want anything knowledge of them. You better wake up, people out there, and you better start looking at these wars, and you better start looking. Do you realize, Alex, that my country has been at war over half my life?
Yes.
And I'm a post-World War II baby. I was born in 51, and we've been at war for over half my life. No other country in the world can come close to making that statement.
Plus, these aren't wars where we got attacked. These are wars for the corporate interests that have taken our country over.
Totally. Every war we've fought since World War II, I have yet to figure out what for. And what was it fought over? It was fought over the phoniness of the Cold War, which we all now know was a setup on both sides. If you do any historical reading on the other side or our side, or talk to people that lived behind the Iron Curtain, they were getting told the same thing we were getting told. They were getting told we have to stop the capitalist imperialists from taking over the world, while we were being told we have to stop the domino effect of communism.
Meanwhile,
when are people going to wake up, Alex, and realize all of that was planned?
It's come out. You're right. They've released the KGB files and others that both sides are being financed by the mega banks who were actually playing both sides off against each other and using the crisis to create massive debt and authoritarian control, just of different flavors in both hemispheres.
Absolutely. And so the point of the matter is, again, it comes back to we as a people of the United States, are we going to stand for this or not? And the simplest way, is if Ron Paul becomes a libertarian, elect him president. That's the only way. If we keep electing Democrats and Republicans, we are going to get the same old. Why do you think these people are protesting out there? They're protesting because it's equal between both of these parties. They are both completely controlled by Wall Street. Both parties. I mean, take a look. It doesn't matter what president we have, Democrat or Republican. Our Department of Secretary of Treasury always comes out of Goldman Sachs in modern times.
Yes.
Every last one of them. Now, is that happenstance? I don't think so.
All right, Gov, we've only got about 8-9 minutes left, and I've got 4 or 5 points I want to throw out there at you. But first off, we carry all of Jesse Ventura's books, all of the recent modern ones. We have Don't Start the Revolution Without Me. That's available now in paperback. We have Jesse Ventura with Dick Russell, 63 Documents the Government Doesn't Want You to Read, his newest, very powerful. He has American Conspiracies, excellent as well. All of these books are great. and they've all been New York Times bestsellers.
Alex, let me add, too, the TV show this year is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, we're going after some wild conspiracies this year, conspiracies that I never dreamed that I would ever pursue. But I got to tell you, they've been very interesting, extremely interesting, and so I think they're going to find a change in the show this year, but as far as the women go, I think they're going to love the show because I'm working with two young men now that are going to knock their socks off. I don't know, maybe that's the direction they want to go, get all the women on our board for the show.
Well, you already had top ratings on True TV.
But and the show is going to cover some very interesting topics. As I said, it's going to cover some conspiracies that are completely new to me. But having done the show now and having in our third season, I'll tell you, Alex, I'm open-minded to almost anything these days. I won't necessarily say I believe all the conspiracies, but they're still going to be very, very interesting, and it's going to prove to be a very fun season.
Sure, most of these, quote, conspiracy shows they've had only cover Loch Ness Monster, Chupacabra, and you're not doing that stuff, but instead you've done the FEMA camps, you had Congress and Homeland Security shut down one of the shows, harassment that I'm not even supposed to get into. The point is, it's been pretty crazy, and now you're doing some of the super hardcore patriot type stuff, but you're also looking into some other areas and always running into the globalist as well. It's going to be extremely powerful, and I'm honored to be part of the show as well.
We're doing one. I'll just say this, and I won't say what it's about, but we're doing one conspiracy that if the conspiracy is real, let's say hypothetically it is, it will destroy religion as we know it. That's powerful.
That is what's going on, and I know there's a certain person I need to get you guys in contact with. All right, continuing here, Governor, with some of the other loose ends. You're going to be gone now, probably the last interview folks will hear until he gets back.
Well, I don't know. Nobody wants... Alex, you're the only person that wants to talk to me anymore.
That's ridiculous. I've talked to your publicist and people. Your phone's ringing 24/7. I can just call you up at home. That's ridiculous. They put you... Oh, Jesse. I'm just saying, this is not part of your normally scheduled interviews for the books and stuff.
No, not at all. In fact, like I said, I won't have another book out. Dick and I are working on our next one. It'll be out probably next fall. But it'll be out in perfect timing for the elections.
Yeah, I can't wait because I have to know this.
It couldn't be better. It can't be. There won't be a better book for election time when it comes out. Probably summer. It'll be out summer or late summer.
But we can't tell folks the title yet.
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
It's good, though. It's the best title I've heard in a while.
It's going to be a book that's very timely for what's happening for the election year.
Yeah, to say the least. Okay, in the time we've got left here, Gov, again, we're going to post this interview after it airs live today at Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com. I want to encourage all the viewers, get this out to everybody. I think this is probably, of the dozens of interviews I've done with Ventura in the last 6 years, probably the most powerful and encompassing total interview. In closing, you may not have seen it, but last week, the main papal council called for global government, global currency, a global bank of the world to punish the bankers, give the bankers total control. World government is now openly being announced and pushed as the solution. I mean, we're here, Jesse. What's your view now from all your research on who runs the world, the global elite, and what's going to happen in the next few years?